Hey everyone, Steve here, and today I'm going to show you how to start up a SOS chain so you can get some shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon for Nintendo 3DS. So of course I've been doing my SOS Shiny Challenge, basically to find every shiny Pokemon available that you can find with the SOS method for finding shiny Pokemon. And since I get lots of questions, this video is just super simple. It's just, hey, if you have the Pokemon, if you basically have everything you're supposed to, this is what you're supposed to do. And also, if you've just never done SOS Shiny Hunting, this video is really basic. It'll just basically tell you like exactly what you actually need to do this method really easily. There's a ton more information I can talk about this stuff, but we're going to save that for a future video. This is just, hey, this is like a showcase of like, do you find this interesting or not? But also, if you're confused on how I do my shiny hunting, this video is going to explain that. So normally you turn the battle effects off. We're going to leave them on for this demonstration because it's a lot easier to see what I'm doing with the battle effects turned on. So to get things started, we have to find a Pokemon in the wild. So we have a Buneary. Also, I should point out that I'm on Route 1, so if you're wondering what location I'm at, it's Route 1 of Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So going into this battle, I have everything required that I need to do an SOS chain. So to talk about that really quick, all you really need is one Pokemon to set up the chain and then another Pokemon to obviously just KO a bunch of Pokemon. So for Trevenant, you need Skill Swap and Trick. Those two moves are super important to have. You can have them on Phantom or obviously in this case Trevenant. Either or does work. The most important thing is you need the ability to be Harvest. Now, Harvest is a hidden ability. You can find it by just playing Pokemon Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, but you need to have the Harvest ability, which is a hidden ability. Ironically, you will also get from SOS chaining a Phantom in this video game. And of course, you want to give the held item of a Leppa Berry, and that's pretty much the Trevenant setup. So next up, we have Pangoro. We have False Swipe, Bullet Punch, Brick Break, and Aerial Ace. You don't have to use these moves if you don't want to. These are just the ones I use for my Pangoro. Also, all of the other moves besides False Swipe have been maxed out with their power points, so this is like the most efficient Pangoro you could have. The most important thing about Pangoro is the fact that it has False Swipe and its hidden ability, because this is basically going to be our attacking Pokemon. Pangoro is going to attack the Pokemon that spawn from SOS Shiny Hunting, and then you're going to keep using Pangoro to basically knock out more and more Pokemon that spawn. So its hidden ability, Scrappy, allows Pangoro to use normal and fighting type moves, and it will attack ghost Pokemon. So if you want to go for ghost Pokemon with the SOS Shiny Hunting method, that is why you want this Pangoro setup. You don't have to have its hidden ability. That's a very case-by-case scenario. It's just like a win-win if you have a Pangoro already set up for SOS Shiny Hunting and it also has its hidden ability. It's just a win-win. So if you're gonna like go out of your way to like do a lot of SOS Shiny Hunting, you might as well pick up a hidden ability, Handsham, evolve it up to Pangoro, and then get it all ready to go for SOS. Again, Pangoro is another Pokemon you can find in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon in the wild. Again, ironically, you'll have to SOS chain to get the hidden ability one, but that's for a whole entire separate video. This is basically just showing the bare minimum of things you actually need to bring in order to do SOS chain successfully. Items to bring when doing SOS chaining are the following: Leppa Berries or Roto Power Point Restore. Most likely you're going to have lots of Leppa Berries because you can farm a lot of them in the Poképelago. But if you pay attention to your bottom screen, you'll notice that Rotom will like want your attention. Tap the bottom screen and sometimes he gives you like Rotom powers, and one of them is Power Point Restore. So you definitely want to stock those up anytime you see Rotom on the bottom screen. Any type of potions, full heal, full restores. I obviously go for just full restores because I've already finished my video game and I just stock up on them just because why not? Literally bring whatever Pokeball you want. It doesn't matter because everyone's choice in Pokeball is going to be different. Just make sure you have enough Pokeballs to use when trying to catch your shiny Pokemon. And lastly, you need the Adrenaline Orb. You can't purchase Adrenaline Orbs until you get to the second island. SOS Shiny Hunting isn't really fun early on. It's a way different process. This is post-game Pokemon Shiny Hunting, so if you want to successfully do this exactly how I do it, just finish your video game. It's going to be a lot easier with finding the Pokemon, getting the items, and everything. Those are the Pokemon and items I bring when I go SOS Shiny Hunting. Now let's give you all a demonstration of how you put it all together to start building a SOS chain so you can find a shiny Pokemon. So since I have those Pokemon already, let me showcase exactly step by step what you have to do to set up the SOS chain if I, for example, wanted a shiny Buneary. So we're going to battle this Buneary. Now, since my Trevenant has the Lepaberry as its held item, we're going to literally send it to the Buneary. So that's why you need a Trevenant to know Trick, because you basically throw away, you know, your item, because you like basically switch the items with the wild Pokemon. Next up, we have to skill swap, which basically takes our harvest ability Trevenant, and we're going to basically give it to Buneary. So we basically exchange abilities. So now that Buneary has Harvest and a Lepaberry, as the battling goes on, as the SOS chain goes on, eventually it's going to use the Lepaberry to restore its power points for its moves. And then over time, it's going to harvest another berry, which will give it basically an infinite loop of non-stop Pokemon moves for our wild Buneary. And that's all you have to do with Trevenant. So now we're going to switch on over to Pangoro so that we can get the next part of our SOS chain started. Like I said, normally you turn battle animations off because it makes it a lot faster for the entirety of the thing. This is just for demonstrating things so you can visually see every part of the step. So next up, we're going to false swipe Buneary. What this basically does is, with the SOS Shiny Hunting method, you basically want the Pokemon to be scared, so when it's at low hit points, it has a more likely chance to call for help. And then the last thing you're going to do is you're going to use an Adrenaline Orb, which is another way to increase the likelihood of a wild Pokemon calling for help, because it basically makes it nervous. Another thing you can do is you can have a Pokemon in your party that has the ability Intimidate that also like helps, but I personally need more information and my own personal findings to like showcase it in a video, but it is effective. Even the Pokemon company themselves like talked about it years ago. But pretty much what I'm doing when I'm showcasing you is exactly what you need to do anyway. So it's kind of like a bonus if you have a Pokemon on your team that has Intimidate. It's just like an extra thing that helps for more difficult Pokemon when you're doing SOS chaining. Obviously, around Route 1, it's pretty easy. Now, as you clearly saw there, Buneary did not call for help. So what do? I haven't really started a chain. Is my chain broken? No. Literally, just go back to your bag, use another Adrenaline Orb. Once you use it in this video game, it doesn't do anything, so you're actually not even wasting anything. So you literally just have to do something to end the turn. So in my case, I just like to use the Adrenaline Orb to basically have it be like a false ending to my turn. Because if we go back to our items, you can see that I did not use any more Adrenaline Orbs. So again, if no Pokemon show up, your chain is fine. Just use some type of item to end the turn so that the wild Pokemon can call for help. So now that it's called for help, this is all you have to do. Start battling. So now we're going to take out the Buneary. And what this effectively does is basically starts our SOS chain. So obviously that was the first Buneary that called for help. So now our chain has officially started. So again, no Pokemon showed up. We go to our items. It has no effect. So you see how, like, when you don't have animations on, that's going to be a lot faster, you know? So now our chain is at 2. So your chain only increases every time you actually see a Pokemon spawn. So if nothing happens, nothing gets added to your chain. So There's nothing in the video game that's going to actually count for you, so you're going to have to use some type of application or like write it down. You basically have to keep track of your own SOS chain. The goal here is to get that number to 30, because when you're at a 30 chain, that is where you max out your shiny odds with or without a shiny charm. So again, no Pokemon, waste an item, not really. When you're SOS chaining, can you find a shiny Pokemon before an SOS chain of 30? Absolutely you can. It's totally going to happen. So we've well established that there is a current chain, it's active, it's going. So now I'm going to showcase the shiny odds on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So when you get to a chain of 30, your shiny odds with no shiny charm, chain of 30 is 1 out of 316. If you have a shiny charm and the chain is over 30, it's 1 out of 274. So basically, with or without the shiny charm, you're basically looking at a 1 out of 300 chance to get a shiny Pokemon to spawn. Round up or round down, it's basically 1 out of 300 with or without a shiny charm. That's how I like to explain it, because yes, having a shiny charm does help, but at the end of the day, it truly isn't required for SOS. But if you definitely want that extra help, by all means, go for it. In my particular shiny hunting, I always have a shiny charm because, well, I've had it for so many years. But just to make that very clear, I myself have a shiny charm, so my shiny odds for this Buneary is 1 out of 274. So now that you understand the shiny odds of everything, this is literally all you have to do. That's it. This is basically SOS chaining 101. As long as you have the right Pokemon, you have the right setup, you basically are just going to KO Pokemon until you get the shiny. And that's literally all you have to do. It is a really simple method to do as long as you have the correct Pokemon to SOS chain. Do you have to use a Trevenant? Do you have to use Pangoro? No, you literally don't. But this is the easiest way to set up an SOS chain. To basically, all you have to do is knock out the new Pokemon and continue to do that until the shiny one shows up. Like, that's literally all you have to do. So if you're interested in more SOS shiny hunting details, definitely leave a comment down below, because I wanted to make a more advanced video in the future that talks about like challenging Pokemon, how to properly acquire every Pokemon like required to make SOS chaining super easy. This video is just like a demonstration of like, hey, this is what you need, this is how you do it, and like that's literally it. So I wanted to make a quick video just to kind of clear up any confusions or just questions people have about it, or just to help people get interested in SOS shiny hunting, because this is literally it. Like, this is all you do. You are just waiting for a Pokemon to be called in to the battle. That's literally it. So it's not the most exciting shiny hunting method, but it's definitely something that's really chill and relax, and it's just something to do in Generation 7. So the last thing to talk about in this video game is in the original Sun and Moon video games. When you got a chain too long, it would eventually reset. That does not happen in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So as long as you have your chain over 30, your shiny odds are permanent. They never reset, and it's awesome. So if you're gonna do SOS, I highly recommend playing the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon video games, because that is the best chance and the best way to get shiny Pokemon, because you don't want all of your hard work to basically go to waste because of just weird coding of how the chain mechanisms work in the original Sun and Moon. So it is what it is, but again, like I said, if you play Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, it's definitely the better video game. But that is basically the simple how-to of how to start and actually get things going with SOS shiny hunting and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I'm SMK. You can always just call me Steven. Subscribe to the channel because I live stream all the time with shiny hunting from Generation 7 through ADS video games in general, and just all things Pokemon. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later.